Her words cut deep. But what hurt was who agreed. I have been called many things in my life. By strangers. By neighbors. By people who did not know me. But I never expected to hear those words from her. And I never expected my own family to agree. Her name is Patricia. My daughter-in-law. My son's wife. The mother of my only grandchild. She is a beautiful woman. Sharp tongue. Sharp mind. Sharp eyes. She has been part of our family for 12 years. 12 years of dinners. 12 years of holidays. 12 years of me trying to be the mother-in-law every woman says she wants. The kind who does not interfere. The kind who does not criticize. The kind who knows her place. I thought I had done a good job. I thought I had stayed in my lane. I thought I had earned her respect. But I was wrong. It happened at a family gathering. My granddaughter's birthday. She was turning 7. There were balloons. There was cake. There were presents. There were people. Her mother's family. Her father's family. Everyone was there. I was in the kitchen, helping with the food. I was chopping vegetables. I was trying to stay out of the way. I was trying to be helpful. Patricia walked in. She was carrying a tray of drinks. She looked at me. She smiled. That tight smile. The one that does not reach the eyes. She said, "Helen, can I talk to you for a moment?" I said, "Of course, dear." She put the tray down. She closed the kitchen door. She turned to face me. She said, "I need to say something. And I need you to listen." I said, "Okay." She said, "You are the most selfish person I have ever met." The knife stopped. My hand stopped. The world stopped. I said, "What?" She said, "You heard me. You are selfish. You only think about yourself. You never consider anyone else's feelings. You are manipulative. You are controlling. You are exhausting." Selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. I said, "Patricia, I do not understand. What have I done?" She said, "It is not what you have done. It is what you are. You are a toxic person. You have always been a toxic person. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it." I looked at her. I said, "Who is everyone?" She smiled. That tight smile. She said, "Your son. Your grandchildren. My family. Your friends. Everyone. Your son. My son. Her husband. The boy I raised. The man I loved." He agreed with her. He thought I was selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. Toxic. I said, "Did Daniel tell you that?" She said, "He did not have to. I can see it. Everyone can see it. You are the only one who does not see it." I put the knife down. I washed my hands. I dried them on a towel. I walked to the door. I opened it. I walked out of the kitchen. Through the living room. Past the balloons. Past the cake. Past the presents. Past my grandchildren. Past my son. I walked to the front door. I put on my coat. I walked out. Into the rain. Into the cold. Into the silence. Her words cut deep. But what hurt was who agreed. My son. My grandchildren. Her family. My friends. Everyone. I drove home in the dark. The rain was falling. The windshield wipers were squeaking. I did not cry. I could not. I was too numb. Too empty. Too tired. When I got home, I sat in my rocking chair. I looked at the phone. I thought about calling my sister. I thought about calling my friend. I thought about calling someone who did not agree. But I did not. I just sat there. In the dark. In the silence. In the betrayal. That was 3 years ago. My son has not called since. My grandchildren have not visited. My daughter-in-law got what she wanted. She turned everyone against me. And the worst part is, they agreed that I am Helen. I am 68 years old. I am a widow. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. And I am a woman whose own family agreed that I was selfish, manipulative, controlling, exhausting. Let me go back. Let me tell you about the life I built. The life before her words. The life before they agreed. I met my husband, Charles, in 1969. I was 19. He was 21. He was a carpenter. Strong hands. Quiet voice. Kind eyes. He built things with his hands. Tables. chairs, cradles. He built our first dining table. The one I am sitting at now. He built it for our first apartment. We had no money, no furniture, just that table. And each other. We got married in my mother's backyard. Simple. Small. My mother made my dress. White lace. She cried when she saw me. She said, "Helen, you look like an angel." I said, "I feel like one, Mama." We had one child. Daniel. Our only son. I held him in the delivery room. He was so small. So fragile. His fingers curled around mine. I cried. Charles cried. He said, "We made a person, Helen. A whole person." I said, "We did good, Charles." He said, "We did okay. Let's see if we can keep him alive." We did. We kept him alive. We raised him. We loved him. We made mistakes. Every parent does. But we never made him feel unloved. Not once. Not ever. Daniel was a sweet boy. Easy. Quiet. He did not get into trouble. He did his homework without being asked. He cleaned his room. He said please and thank you. Other parents used to say, "How did you raise such a good boy?" I did not have an answer. I just got lucky. Or maybe Charles and I did something right. I do not know. Parenting is a mystery. You try your best. And you hope. Charles died when Daniel was 23. Just out of college. Just starting his life. The doctors said it was a heart attack. Sudden. Quick. No warning. He was in his workshop. Building a rocking chair. For our porch. He never finished it. I finished it. I am not a carpenter. It is crooked. The rockers are uneven. But I sit in it every night. I talk to him. I tell him about my day that I was 44 years old. A widow. Alone. After Charles died, I did not know who I was. For 23 years I was Helen and Charles. We were a pair. Like salt and pepper. Like coffee and cream. Now I was just Helen. And Helen did not know how to be alone. Daniel stepped in. He called every day. He visited every weekend. He brought groceries. He fixed things around the house. The faucet that dripped. The step that creaked. The light in the hallway that had been broken for 6 months. He fixed everything. Except the hole in my heart. Then he met Patricia. Patricia worked at a real estate agency. She was an agent. She was younger than him. 25. Daniel was 27. She was sharp. Ambitious. Beautiful. She wore expensive clothes and spoke like she was closing a deal. She reminded me of a saleswoman. Polished. Professional. Cold. I met her for the first time at a restaurant. Daniel wanted me to meet her somewhere neutral. He was nervous. I could tell. He kept checking his phone. He kept looking at the door. Patricia arrived on time. She walked in like she owned the place. She sat down. She said, "You must be Helen. Daniel talks about you all the time." I said, "All good things, I hope." She smiled. But her smile did not reach her eyes. It was a smile she had practiced. A smile she used with clients. A smile that said, "I am being polite, but do not mistake this for warmth." She ordered a salad. No dressing. A glass of white wine. She ate the salad like she was performing a task. She talked about her career. Her listings. Her commissions. She did not ask me one question about myself. Not one. Not what do you do? Not what do you like? Not how are you doing after losing your husband? After she left, Daniel said, "So? What do you think?" I said, "She is very professional." He said, "That is a good thing, Mom. She knows what she wants." I said, "Does she want a family? Does she want children?" He said, "Eventually. When she is ready." I did not say what I was thinking. I did not say, "Son, life does not wait for ready." I did not say, "Love is not a business transaction." I did not say, "I have a bad feeling about this." I said, "If she makes you happy, I am happy for you." He smiled. He looked relieved. He said, "Thanks, Mom. That means everything." They got married a year later. Big wedding. Expensive. Patricia wanted everything perfect. The venue. The flowers. The cake. The band. The invitations. The favors. Everything had to be just so. Daniel paid for most of it. He took out a loan. A loan. For a wedding. I wanted to say something. But I did not. It was not my place. I was just the mother of the groom. I was just the widow. I was just the old woman. I offered to help. I had some savings. Not much. But enough to cover the flowers or the catering. Patricia said, "No thank you, Helen. We want to do this ourselves. Our way." She called me Helen. Not Mom. Not even Mrs. Davis. Helen. Like I was a coworker. Like I was someone she had just met. At the wedding, I sat in the back row. The family row. Third row. Not first. Not second. Third. Patricia's parents sat in the front. Her sister sat in the second row. I sat in the third row. Behind the aunt I had never met. I watched my son marry a woman I did not trust. I watched him put a ring on her finger. I watched him kiss her. I watched him smile. And I smiled too. I clapped. I cheered. I wiped away a tear. I did everything a mother is supposed to do. But inside I was breaking. After the wedding things changed. Slowly. Like a tide coming in. You do not notice at first. Then you look down and the water is at your knees. Daniel used to call me every day. After Patricia he called twice a week. Then once a week. Then once every 2 weeks. He said he was busy. He said work was crazy. He said Patricia needed him. I understood. I did not complain. I did not want to be a burden. We used to have Sunday dinners at my house. Every week. After church. After lunch. It was our tradition. After the wedding, Patricia started making excuses. Daniel would call and say, "Patricia is tired. Patricia has a headache. Patricia has to work tomorrow." Then Daniel stopped calling. I would call him. He would answer sometimes. Short conversations. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. He would say, "Everything is fine, Mom. Just busy." Then he would say he had to go. Then he would hang up. I started counting the days between calls. 7 days. 14 days. 21 days. 30 days. I would mark them on the calendar on my refrigerator. A small X for every day he did not call. The calendar filled with X's. I tried calling Patricia. Once. Twice. She did not answer. I left a message. Patricia. It is Helen. Just calling to say hello. Hope you are both doing well. Love you. She did not call back. I tried sending cards. Birthday cards. Anniversary cards. Just because cards. I would write little notes inside. Thinking of you. Missing you. Love, Mom. No response. I tried showing up. With casseroles. With cookies. With excuses. I was in the neighborhood. I had extra food. I just wanted to see you. Patricia would open the door. She would stand in the doorway. She would not invite me in. She would take the casserole. She would say, "Thank you, Helen." Then she would close the door. I would stand on the porch, holding my empty hands, staring at the closed door. Then I would walk back to my car, drive home, to my empty house, to my rocking chair, to my silence, the birthday party, my granddaughter's birthday. She was turning 7. There were balloons. There was cake. There were presents. There were people. I was in the kitchen, helping with the food. I was chopping vegetables. I was trying to stay out of the way. I was trying to be helpful. Patricia walked in. She was carrying a tray of drinks. She looked at me. She smiled. That tight smile. She said, "Helen, can I talk to you for a moment?" I said, "Of course, dear." She put the tray down. She closed the kitchen door. She turned to face me. She said, "I need to say something. And I need you to listen." I said, "Okay." She said, "You are the most selfish person I have ever met." The knife stopped. My hand stopped. The world stopped. I said, "What?" She said, "You heard me. You are selfish. You only think about yourself. You never consider anyone else's feelings. You are manipulative. You are controlling. You are exhausting. Selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting." I said, "Patricia, I do not understand. What have I done?" She said, It is not what you have done. It is what you are. You are a toxic person. You have always been a toxic person. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. I looked at her. I said, "Who is everyone?" She smiled. That tight smile. She said, "Your son. Your grandchildren. My family. Your friends. Everyone." I put the knife down. I washed my hands. I dried them on a towel. I walked to the door. I opened it. I walked out of the kitchen. Through the living room. Past the balloons. Past the cake. Past the presents. Past my grandchildren. Past my son. I did not look at him. I could not. If I looked at him, I would have seen his face. I would have seen if he agreed. I would have seen if he was one of the people who thought I was selfish, manipulative, controlling, exhausting, toxic. I walked to the front door. I put on my coat. I walked out. Into the rain. Into the cold. Into the silence. I did not say goodbye. I did not kiss my grandchildren. I did not hug my son. I just walked out. The rain was falling. Soft at first. Then harder. I did not have an umbrella. My hair got wet. My coat got wet. My heart got wet. I walked to my car. I got in. I sat there for a moment. Looking at the house. Looking at the balloons in the window. Looking at the people inside. Looking at my family. The family who agreed that I was selfish. I started the car. I drove home. 40 minutes. Through rain. Through traffic. Through silence. I drove home in the dark. The rain was falling. The windshield wipers were squeaking. I was not crying. But my eyes were wet. I thought about Patricia's words. Selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. Toxic. I thought about who agreed. My son. My grandchildren. Her family. My friends. Everyone. I thought about all the small cuts. The phone calls that were not returned. The invitations that did not come. The holidays I spent alone. The grandchildren I barely knew. The son who had become a stranger. I thought about Charles. He would have known what to do. He would have talked to Daniel. Man to man. Father to son. He would have said, "Son, you are making a mistake. Do not let her push your mother away. Do not let her turn everyone against her." But Charles was gone. And I was alone. And everyone agreed that I was the problem. When I got home, I sat in my rocking chair. The crooked one. The one Charles never finished. I looked at the phone. I thought about calling my sister. I thought about calling my friend. I thought about calling someone who might not agree. But I did not. I just sat there. In the dark. In the silence. In the betrayal. After that party, Daniel stopped calling. Not all at once. Slowly. First he stopped calling on Sundays. Then he stopped calling altogether. I would call him. He would not answer. I would leave messages. He would not return them. I called Patricia. Once. She answered. She said, "Helen, Daniel does not want to talk to you right now. He needs space. Please respect that." Space. From his mother. From the woman who raised him. From the woman who loved him more than anything in the world. Space. That I said, "Okay, Patricia. I will give you space." I hung up. I put the phone in the drawer. I stopped calling. I stopped hoping. I stopped waiting. The first month was hard. I would wake up and think, maybe today he will call. He did not call. I started going to church. Every morning. Not just Sundays. I would sit in the back pew. I would light a candle. I would pray. I would pray for Daniel. For Patricia. For my grandchildren. For the family I had lost. For the people who agreed. The priest, Father Michael, noticed me. He would sit next to me sometimes. He would say, "Helen, you look tired. Is everything okay?" I would say, "Everything is fine, Father. Just tired." He would say, "You know you can talk to me. That is what I am here for." I would nod. I would smile. I would say thank you. And then I would go home. To my empty house. To my rocking chair. To my silence. I joined a support group. For parents of estranged children. There were other mothers there. Women like me. Women whose families had agreed with their daughters-in-law. Women who had been called selfish. Manipulative. controlling, exhausting, toxic. Women who were waiting, hoping, praying that we would sit in a circle. We would share our stories. Some would cry. Some would laugh. Some would just sit in silence. I learned that I was not alone. That my pain was not unique. That thousands of mothers were sitting in rocking chairs, staring at walls, waiting for their children to come home. Waiting for someone to disagree. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in the garden, pulling weeds. My hands were in the dirt. The sun was warm on my back. The phone rang. I did not recognize the number. I almost did not answer. But something told me to pick up. It was the hospital. A nurse said, "Mrs. Davis? Your son Daniel is here. He asked us to call you." My heart stopped. I said, "What happened? Is he okay?" The nurse said, "He is going to be okay. He had a minor heart attack. He is stable now. But he asked for you. Can you come?" A heart attack. Like his father. Like Charles. The same words. The same fear. The same race to the hospital. I said, "I will be there as soon as I can." I drove to the hospital in 20 minutes. It usually takes 40. I do not remember the drive. I do not remember the traffic. I do not remember parking the car. I only remember running. Running through the hallways. Running to my son that I found him in a room on the 3rd floor. He was sitting up in bed. He was pale. Thin. Connected to monitors. His eyes were closed. He looked older than his years. I stood in the doorway. I did not know if I should go in. Did he want to see me? Did he ask for me? Or did the nurse make a mistake? Did he still agree with her? Was I still selfish, manipulative, controlling, exhausting, toxic? He opened his eyes. He saw me. He said, "Mom." That was all. Just Mom. I walked to the bed. I sat in the chair next to him. I took his hand. I said, "I am here, Daniel. I am here." He started crying. He said, "I am sorry, Mom. I am so sorry for everything. For the party. For her words. For agreeing. For not defending you. For letting her turn everyone against you. I was weak. I was scared. I was wrong." He agreed. He had agreed. My son. My only child. He had agreed that I was selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. Toxic. I said, "Do not be sorry, sweetheart. Just rest. We have time. We finally have time." He said, "I do not deserve you, Mom. You are too good to me. You have always been too good to me." I said, "That is what mothers do, Daniel. We are too good. Even when we should not be. Even when it hurts. Even when our children agree that we are selfish." He cried harder. He held my hand. He did not let go that I stayed at the hospital for a week. I slept in a plastic chair. I held Daniel's hand. I fed him soup. I read to him. Old books. The ones I read to him when he was young. We talked. For hours. About the party. About Patricia's words. About the people who agreed. About the years of silence. About the pain. He told me everything. About Patricia's L. About her manipulation. About the way she turned him against me. About the things she said I did. About the things she said I said. None of it was true. None of it. She had made it all up. To isolate him. To control him. To have him all to herself. And he had agreed. Because he wanted to believe her. Because it was easier than facing the truth. He said, "She told me you said I was a disappointment. She told me you said she was not good enough for me. She told me you were trying to break up our marriage. She told me you were selfish, manipulative, controlling, toxic." And I believed her. Because I wanted to believe her. Because it was easier than facing the truth. Because if I agreed, I did not have to fight. I said, "What is the truth, Daniel?" He said, "The truth is that you are the only one who never gave up on me. You stood there while she called you selfish. You did not fight back. You did not scream. You did not demand. You just walked out. Because you did not want to lose me. And I let her take me anyway. I agreed. I agreed with her. I called you those names in my head. I believed them. I am so sorry." I said, "You were young, Daniel. You were hurting. You were trying to build a life. You made mistakes. We all make mistakes. The important thing is that we learn from them. The important thing is that you are here. The important thing is that you stopped agreeing. He said, I have learned, Mom. I have learned that you are the only one who never stopped loving me. You waited. You hoped. You prayed. You never stopped. Even when I agreed with her. Even when I called you those names in my heart. I said, that is what mothers do, sweetheart. We never give up. We never stop loving. We never stop waiting for our children to stop agreeing with the lies. Daniel filed for divorce a month after he got out of the hospital. Patricia did not fight it. She had already moved on. She had met someone else. A man from her gym. She remarried 6 months after the papers were signed. She moved to another state. She took the children with her. Daniel fought for custody. He fought hard. He hired a good lawyer. He went to court. He told the judge about Patricia's lies. About her manipulation. About her isolation. The judge gave him joint custody. The children would live with Patricia during the school year. They would stay with Daniel every summer and every other holiday. It was not perfect, but it was something. It was a start. Daniel moved back into my house. Not permanently, just for a while. Just until he figured things out. He slept in his old room. The one with the posters still on the wall. The one with the high school trophies on the shelf. I cooked for him. Every day. Pot roast. Meatloaf. Chicken soup. The foods he loved as a boy. The foods that made him feel safe. He ate everything. 2 servings. 3 servings. He was hungry. Not just for food. For home. For the mother he had agreed was selfish. We fell back into our old rhythm. Sunday afternoons. Cooking together. Watching old movies. Talking about nothing and everything. He told me about the children. About how much they had grown. About how much they missed me. About how Patricia had told them I did not want to see them. About how they believed her. About how they agreed. I said, they will understand someday, Daniel. Children are smart. They will remember who was there. Who showed up. Who loved them. They will stop agreeing. He said, I want to bring them here, Mom. I want them to know you. I want them to know the truth. I want them to stop agreeing with her lies. I said, when you are ready, sweetheart. When they are ready. I will be here. I am not going anywhere. I will wait. I will always wait. Even if they agree. Even if everyone agrees. I will wait. So here I am, 68 years old. Living in my home. The home where I raised my son. The home where I thought I would grow old alone. With everyone agreeing that I was selfish. But I am not alone. My son is here. He is in the kitchen. He is making dinner. He is humming. He is happy. He no longer agrees. My grandchildren are coming for the summer. They will sleep in their father's old room. They will put their drawings on my refrigerator. Right in the middle. Where everyone can see them. They might still agree with their mother. But they are coming. That is a start. Patricia is gone. The words are still here. I can still hear them. Selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. Toxic. They echo in my head sometimes. On quiet nights. When I am alone. When the phone does not ring. But they are just words now. They have lost their power. Because I know the truth. Her words cut deep. But what hurt was who agreed. My son. My grandchildren. Her family. My friends. Everyone. They all agreed. And I lost them. For years. I lost them to her lies. But I did not lose them forever. They came back. Not all at once. Slowly. One phone call. One visit. One hug at a time. They came back. Because the truth is stronger than lies. Because love is stronger than agreement. Because a mother's love never gives up. Even when everyone agrees that she is the problem. I have learned something in this house. Something I want to share with you. Especially if you are a mother. A grandmother. A woman who has been called selfish. Manipulative. Controlling. Exhausting. Toxic. A woman whose family agreed. A woman who is waiting. Hoping. Praying. Here it is. Do not give up. Do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping. Even when they agree. Even when they turn away. Even when the phone does not ring. Keep your door open. Keep your heart open. Keep your love open. Because one day, they might stop agreeing. And you want to be there when they do. Her words cut deep. But what hurt was who agreed. But they do not agree anymore. They came back. They apologized. They loved. And I forgave them. Not because they deserved it. Because I deserved peace. Because agreement is not permanent. Love is. That is my story. Thank you for listening. That I still talk to Charles. Every night. Before I go to sleep. I look at his photo. I tell him about my day. I tell him about Daniel. About the grandchildren. About the party. About the words. About the agreement. About the truth. I think he can hear me. I think he is listening. I think he is proud of me. Not because I did everything right. I did not. But because I never gave up. Because I kept loving. Because I kept hoping. Because I kept my door open for the people who agreed. That is all any of us can do. Keep loving. Keep hoping. Keep your door open. Even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard. I am Helen. I am 68 years old. Her words cut deep. But what hurt was who agreed. But they do not agree anymore. And I am still here. Still loving. Still hoping. Still waiting. That is my story. Thank you for listening.